All right. Well, we are started. We have a new friend. I don't know. I can't show it to you, but
Oh, we aren't up yet, or
no, the meeting's recorded. So here we have an owl now, which allows us to put our camera in the audience, and it puts an Omni series of microphones in the audience as well. So when we talk, at least when I was in corporate, it used to follow us around, both audio and a camera, because it's a 360 camera on top, and it divvies up that image.
Oh, no, David's not in there.
So, anyway, welcome, Mr. Owl. And, let's see. Go to the next slide. Perfect. I don't think there's anything on here that's new. Go to the next slide. Hey, Bernie. How are you?
Good.
Good.
My wife made me shave.
That's so lame. That's right. There's a young fellow over there. I just noticed.
Hey, Dom, I'm going to send you an email.
Okay.
With a picture for us to share also that I just took a little while ago. So when we get later in the meeting.
Okay, perfect. Let's see, John, you had to say a few things about.
We'll go to the next slide. Let's see if it works.
All right.
See, I put it in there.
Yeah, what does it say?
Well, it says, for safety reasons, all equipment and parts in the Thunderstruck shop shall not be touched.
You talking about David Harris right
Yeah,
here?
Don't touch the donuts.
You guys are missing excellent donuts. Yeah, so thank you, Mike, wherever Mike went. There he is in the back. And welcome for joining us. We have two new guests today. They drove down from Red Bluff, if I recall.
Wow.
In an EV, in their EV made.
Oh, very good. So
Well,
maybe if we finish early, we can go out and get a tour of your EV.
Got it.
Okay.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Because I would like to get out of here at about 12:30 if I can. So
Okay, very good.
that'd be good to not stack anything at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect, because the dog's in the car and I'd like to get out early too.
Windows are down, right?
You would like to get out of it. I would like to.
Well, I guess I'll start. I'm Dom Houlimart, and I still get around the same old way. I try to ride my bike as much as I can in Sebastopol when I'm around town. I drove my wife's EV6 to Elk Grove this week, and some of you may have seen a tours post on Discuss. What was it yesterday? Tour sounded pretty despondent from driving his EV from a range perspective. So I drove to Elk Grove on Wednesday to help my mom out on a thing, and had zero issues charging on Electron America. Plugged in, and in fact, I took a picture of the screen at 55% battery. I was pulling 240 watts, 240 kilowatts. It was amazing. It was just running.
Whoa.
And then it slowed down, and when it got to 77%, I was still north of 125 kilowatt hours. Kilowatts. I was pretty happy with that. So, and then I drive my truck around when I need to move wood or dirt or whatever. So, or camp. Sonia?
I'm Sonia. I drive a Model 3. I also drive a 2014 Chevy Volt, and my mom drives a Chevy Volt as well. And her car would not charge recently. It had a high voltage charging system service needed message, and it turned out it's the fluids in the pump. So, you got to liquid cool your battery. I thought, we haven't talked about that in our meetings before, but a lot of cars need liquid cooling for their batteries. But
Right.
apparently 11 years later, you need a little bit of work on that.
Some service to it.
I guess so.
You mean you need to check the fluids in 11 years?
Yeah. Well, they were a little dirty, and then the pump was a little dirty, and she didn't buy it new, so we don't know where it's been. Yeah.
But it wasn't until the recent model years that a Volt would take the high voltage charge, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just saying level 2 charge.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
It
really?
wouldn't say- they call it the onboard charger. They call that the high voltage system. I
It is
guess.
high voltage system.
It is high voltage. It's not supercharging though. No. Okay.
Well, I'm
Would you like
Janet. I drive a 2012 Leaf. My husband can tell you all about it.
Well,
so, yeah, so we got a Leaf and a 300ZX out there, both converted. Everybody knows the Leaf doesn't have very good range on it, so. A few years back, we added a few year Chevy Volt batteries to it.
Oh,
So
nice.
we upped the range. So far, we got 180,000 miles on it right now.
Wow.
With this driving,
What year Leaf is it?
that's a 2012.
Oh, my goodness, that's the
Yeah.
one that.
So,
problem. I had
yeah, we-
2011, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had taken the battery pack out. The first one, 60,000 miles, it was dead. And put another one, I gotta use them from Portland, put it in, which was in pretty good shape, and then we added, four volt batteries to it. Get it like 31 kilowatts, something like that, 35 kilowatts.
So you've gotten
Right,
120,000
120.
miles on the second battery?
Several ones were good, over 100,000 miles on them, yeah.
Wow.
So the problem was, this, what I figured out, the batteries, because the amp powers in them are not large enough, so
Yeah.
you use them too much.
Yeah, right.
We go like a Tesla with a 70, 80 kilowatt pack, and you're not using it as much. You
Right.
put a 20 pack in or 24 kilowatt in it, and yeah, you're just charging, discharging it all the time. So by adding extra batteries to it, put up 35 kilowatts, I think we had in it. And then batteries a little bit, it's second generation batteries. So
Do better.
they help it a
Oh,
lot
that
better.
makes a big.
And it's still going. They're dropping off now. We're getting about 80 miles out of it. And we had that pack in there, for over 100,000 miles, 120,000 miles on it.
But if you were here last week, you would have found out that Brian Hall, whose shop this is,
He knows all about it.
he know about it, converted his to 200 miles,
Yeah,
200-mile range
With
Yeah.
a Chinese pack.
for $7,000.
okay, yeah, so I'd seen something about that just a week ago. And the weight, what surprised me was they put in like a 60 kilowatt pack, I believe it was, and it only weighed less than 200 pounds more than the 24 kilowatt.
That's
Oh,
what a
interesting.
7% improvement per year does.
Yeah, some crazy thing like that.
Right.
So I thought if we put that in the 300Z out there, we'd get over 300 miles. Just to get rid of the weight.
Yeah.
So in the 300Z, we got 60 kilowatt pack in it, A123, come out Smith trucks. Strange thing about them things, everybody said, they're no good, crazy. These things have 31,000 miles on them, 5 kilowatts per unit. We got 60 kilowatt. The thing is still 60 kilowatts, and we put on probably 70,000 miles on it.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
and it still got 60 kilowatts. So last week we drove it down here, we went to, let's see, to Clear Lake, Fort Bragg, and the car's averaging about 3.5 miles a kilowatt, something like that. And the 60 kilowatt pack, this thing's still getting 200 miles.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So those Smith batteries were lead acid?
No.
A123, no, they're sulfate.
Lithium iron
Lithium
phosphate.
sulfate, yeah, they're really good, I
Well,
didn't think they would hold up as good, but I just checked it here not too long ago, and the thing still got a 60 kilowatt pack in it.
Do you want to charge while you're here?
No, don't have to.
Don't have.
No, I don't, we'd hardly muck, so
we
because,
charged in
yeah.
Ukiah.
we gotta thank people from Thunderstruck for all the help they done. So when we built that car, the 300Z especially, as we got the range up to, 150, 200 miles, something like that. But it was like being tied to a tether. You can't go anymore, and that you got halfway, and you got to turn around and come back home because there's no place to charge it.
Yeah.
So with this, thanks from Thunderstruck, the battery management control system, everything, we're able to put CHAdeMO in it, fast charge. It really works well.
All right, we look forward to the tour at the.
Yeah, we'll look at it.
Jerry, what are you doing?
Well, I was looking to see how far I walked this week.
Oh, new set of transportation mode.
Well, that's mostly what I've been doing this week, except I used a car today for the first time. To drive to Taylor Mountain to walk. But I'm driving mostly the Kia. And our longest trip on that's been 1,400 miles in a weekend.
Oh, wow.
So we find that the EV doesn't really constrain us. So the tourist experience is different. I did make a trip one time up to Meyer in my Leaf, 2018. And that one was a chore because I had to charge a couple of times along the way for the uphill. Because I came out of Meyer, got to 7,000 or got to 10,000 feet and 9,000 feet. And it says, well, you just lost about half of the pack.
Right.
And then I kind of rolled down to Sacramento where it finally said, okay, maybe it's time to charge again.
That's good. It's a free ride back.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only problem was my telephone, AT&T turned off my phone. So I couldn't find more stations.
Sorry, yeah.
They turned it off.
I'll stay with
Yeah, they turned it off. Instead of full.
I'm feeling better.
while you were driving.
Okay.
Yeah, while I was driving, it turned off my phone, yeah. So when I got to the stations and the station didn't work, I couldn't call and say I need some help because the phone didn't work.
Meaning the battery died or the signal
No.
died? Like it was out of
AT&T said,
range?
I'm not supporting this phone anymore.
Oh,
We're done.
Do that. And
David,
yeah,
go ahead.
well, we got a long story, but, I was just wondering what was gonna happen to the EV market with all the tariff talk and everything. So I started looking, went down to Richmond and looked at the VinFast, and obviously they're pretty motivated to try and sell those things.
Yeah, right. They want
But,
to bid fast.
Yeah.
but we had already looked at the EV6, my wife and daughter, and they liked it, so, and our daughter is motivated to get something with longer range than the Leaf that she's been driving. Because she's driving her friends from here, we gotta go up to Windsor to pick them up and go to San Francisco and come back, and even with the larger pack that we've got in the 2020 Leaf, she's having to charge and she's had problems, and she said, my friends are thinking these EVs are too much trouble. And Chatham was going away, etc. So,
Your daughter can sell, David.
right, yeah, she's 20 years old. So anyway, but she was hot to get an EV6, and I had planned, so they didn't have any left here, but Kia to move to 2024 was giving $18,000 rebate.
Wow.
If you went in to buy, they'd give you 10,000. If you went in to finance it or to pay cash, they'd only take 10,000 off. But if you leased it, they take 18.
That's because they get the,
Car back.
no,
Tax credit?
18,000. That's the difference between,
it's a 7,500 tax credit.
it's the tax credit. That's right. They take a $7,500 tax credit, and that's why you get the 18 versus the 10.
Okay.
So it's a $10,000 discount. The 7,500 discount is the same one that I got when I leased,
Right.
and then I paid off the lease after the first month. So
Right.
with all the leasing charges, whatever else, my net was about $5,000 off.
Well, pretty good.
Right. Well, they were out here, so I got on the internet. Kia has a pretty good way to look for inventory, and there was one with the tech package, the wind trim model of the EV6 with the tech package, which gives you more cameras and stuff. And they offered to take another 2,156, I remember the number, off of the MSRP.
Wow.
So I started dealing on that down in Clovis. And my plan was to get on Amtrak and get to Fresno at 5:45 the next day. But our daughter came back with the Leaf from her class and said, I canceled my shift at Target. I want to go now. So we got in the car and we couldn't catch any place along the way. My wife was driving and I'm looking, can we make it to the Amtrak station in Modesto? At least we do the last bit on the Amtrak, but no. So we end up driving the Leaf all the way to Clovis, and we do the deal, and they get in the car to drive home, and I got to come home in the Leaf. So they got home without having to stop to charge from Clovis to Santa Rosa, and still had miles left.
Yeah.
And now I drove it yesterday after it'd been plugged in on our
Yeah.
level 2 at home.
Yeah.
322 miles is what it says the range. is.
Mine says that all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
And so,
And if I drive in town, I get 322 miles.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, so it is a huge jump because Hyundai, Kia have been now in the market for 2 years with the 800 volt.
Yeah.
And so you get down to the Electrify America and it'll charge it over 200 kilowatt.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
That's great.
Anybody, if they're still doing that 1,800 off on the leases,
That's a great deal.
it's a deal.
18,000.
18,000.
Mike, anything to?
No, not too much. Kind of just driving my EV6. I will say, so I did put it too late. Gave David an email, but I will say I don't get any better than 3.2 miles per kilowatt in my EV6.
You 18-year-old.
Really?
I love it.
And so that's what I'm trying to figure out why.
Wait, did you
It's
have two motors or one?
one motor, but I think it's the tire, or I'm blaming the tires because it's got some funky off-brand tires on it. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna run them till the tires are
Yeah, right.
good,
Yeah.
and then put some good tires.
Because I'm thinking 4.1, 4.2.
Okay, well that's great because I took it to Sacramento and back a few weekends ago. It's still just 3.2. So
Fast
Yeah.
speed.
Highway 5, 3.9.
that wasn't too bad.
No, I mean-
I kept it under 75.
Okay, well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Huge difference if you go down to 65.
Yeah, big
yeah.
difference.
I'm right in the middle between you guys.
Yeah.
I'm like 3.5, 3.6.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you drive 70.
Yeah.
Over 10 over, so.
Yeah.
I push the button and say, drive the car, and I pick a speed, and then just sit back and let it do its
Just let it
thing.
do its thing, yeah.
I'm not big into driving. Let the car take me.
Don't tell them how to try that.
Brad, how about you?
Oh, hi, I'm Brad. I drive a 2004 Honda Civic Hybrid with about 195,000 miles. If I get a more stable living situation with a available charging station, I will probably start looking for a used EV.
All right.
But we'll see how long the tax incentives last with the expiration of a lot of the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. A lot of the provisions are set to sunset, expire in 2024 at the end of last year and at the end of 2025. So I'm not sure how that'll go.
Yeah, all right. Bernie?
Okay, I'm Bernie Dolan and I'm still driving my 3.
All right.
And I did order these stickers, which they're red. So, but if anybody's got a red Tesla, I've got a few extras.
What does the sticker say? Hold
The
it up.
sticker says, love my Tesla, despise Musk 2.0.
Right. That's right.
It's fine.
I see.
That's all right. All right, that's great. John?
Well, I know you're a Republican, Peter, since.
Actually, no, I'm not allowed to vote. So I don't take any responsibility.
Which planet?
So does anyone here own shares of Tesla?
Yeah, not
directly?
anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I own about 160.
Oh, okay. Have you thought of joining or filing a shareholder lawsuit?
That's somebody else.
I would join one. I probably wouldn't file one. Yeah.
I don't know if that's happened already, but
Well-
Bernie, do you have a t-shirt to show off too?
Oh, yeah. You guys want to see my,
Yeah.
Since we saved it all.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Tara makes.
When's that gonna come in here?
Say the name. The camera is not showing his t-shirt.
Oh, wait, you gotta turn
Maybe this summer.
towards the camera again, so they want to see your t-shirt.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Right here. The
Right
camera's
there.
right
To
here.
the back.
This
Oh,
thing
that's
is,
the camera?
yeah.
I knew that.
Take it all
He's
off.
off screen.
It's still not yet to talk.
All
about.
right.
I can't read the words. What did it say?
It says drive on sunshine.
Drive on Sunshine.
oh, there we go.
Oh, I like,
Oh,
oh, I
it's an
see it
Aptera
now. I
shirt.
like
Yeah.
that. Drive on sunshine.
There you go.
You got on screen.
You need to learn something about the owl, which is if you want the camera to find you, you gotta make noise.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
This is new, right?
That's new.
Yeah.
We're
Brand
learning.
new.
All right, John?
Oh, yeah, it does come over here when you clap. Okay.
You have panels on your truck today, I noticed.
Oh, yeah. So I'm John. I drive a truck that my daughter Ellen and I, oh, Ellen, you just came on. Yay. That we converted when she was a senior in high school, in 2010. And, it's still running. Not quite as long as Harold's, but anyway, it has a Leaf motor in it, and we're looking at doing a pack upgrade because right now the motor, the pack, which is from 2008, is very saggy. So that's exciting. But yeah, like you said, I have panels on it. I'm going to go buy Sequoia, materials and get some. That's a place near our home. We get some compost for our garden. So
Today's garden day. Doing
yeah.
the same thing, yeah. All right. You're Peter, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Peter.
So I reactivated my beautiful Nissan Sentra, which is an '89, and it has 50 kilowatt hours worth of Nissan Leaf batteries in it, and another 10 kilowatt hours worth of these truck batteries here, the Smith
Oh,
A123. See, he has like 12 of those in his.
yeah.
So I have only two, and it really takes the back down to the, it's very heavy. It's like 180
Were those the
pounds.
Frito-Lay trucks?
Yes,
Okay.
I have three of those. I just finally bought them from Brian. So I have the biggest car fleet in town.
Well, very good. Welcome. I forgot your friend's name.
That's Stefano. Well, Stefano is just my sidekick. He doesn't like electric cars. He's got a Corvette and a Ferrari and a Morgan with the Corvette motor in it. So he's a total motorhead. And a Chenoweth. You know what a Chenoweth is? The sandrail, also with a Corvette motor.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, Russ, how about you?
I'm Russ, and I'm in Petaluma, and I have a 2015 Kia Soul EV Plus that I just learned this week needs a oil change in the transmission. And I'm not sure how that qualifies, but I'm checking it out.
That's transmission?
Well,
Reduction.
gear box.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Except it doesn't change gears.
All right. Who's going to do that, Russ? Are you doing that?
I don't know. I have to check around. I haven't had time to locate anybody except for Kia.
Oh, well, good one. Love to hear how that works out.
Yeah, I'll keep you apprised.
Okay,
Do you know?
Okay. Can you hear us?
Ooh.
You.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah.
I have driving my wife's 2007 Saturn Vue Hybrid and still playing around with my 85 Avani Electric, which is
All
Excellent. Yeah.
Very good. Hey, Ellen, how about you?
Hi everyone, I'm Ellen. I drive a 2017 Chevy Bolt that I love. And actually this morning, the reason I'm late is because I was helping with the purchase of a used Chevy Bolt. So anyway, it's exciting. A friend of ours just bought the Chartreuse 2019 Chevy Bolt. So I was helping her with that purchase. Anyway, so that's exciting.
Awesome. And Linda, how about you?
Well, I'm still driving my 2022 Chevy Bolt, but I added an accessory to it. I don't know if you can see this. It looks like a pair of binoculars. This is to connect to a Tesla charger. Oops, I said that word. The T word charger. And it costs a few nickels, but I got it because I'm going to go to Santa Clara. And even though my car can make it to Santa Clara and back, I don't want range anxiety. And I just happen to know that Tesla has the largest charger network in the country. So I have it as a backup. If I don't find a charger, I find a Tesla charger pretty easily. I found it a little hard to set up. They didn't give good instructions with the app, so I ended up calling, I think it's out of OnStar. calling them twice, and they got me set up. I managed to charge up on one of the Tesla chargers on Guerneville Road in Sebastopol about 2 days after I'd stood around in a demonstration at that very site. So I'm glad it was a peaceful demonstration. There was no vandalism. I did have a disconcerting thing happen last week. I went to a Sebastopol meeting about the consolidation with the fire department. And everything went along fine. People asked questions about the fire department. Some opposed it, some were for it. And then one lady said something about EVs are rolling bombs. She thinks that the batteries will blow up.
She wears tin hats.
Yeah, and I talked to one of the firemen afterwards, and he said, they're hard to put out the fires, but they don't blow up. And I said, yeah, because I'd seen on TV people throwing Molotovs into Tesla dealerships, and the cars were not causing the building to go on fire. So there was no explosion. He said what is more dangerous was his more dangerous battery he has is his power drill.
Yeah.
And I think it's those little batteries like you have on your scooters and stuff, but it was kind of hilarious. They say that fire departments have learned how to put these car fires out, so it is an issue, but it's not a horrendous issue. So I just thought I'd just present a Sebastopol tinfoil hat idea that we're rolling around in rolling bombs. And
The same person at the meetings requires you to turn off all your cell phones. And if you walk through town, you'll find notes from her every place that we are killing ourselves from EMF. And she said almost every meeting, I was the planning commissioner in Sebastopol, and she just showed up at every meeting to tell us and would hand out flyers about
She
how
didn't say anything about our cell phones, which I had a cell phone in my pocket, and some people were actually using theirs maybe to record the meeting. But I would point out that if you take any Wi-Fi enabled device, your tablet, your phone, whatever, and walk down the street in Sebastopol, you'll note that you're picking up a lot of Wi-Fi networks because all the businesses use them. My hairdresser on Petaluma Avenue uses only Wi-Fi. They have a laptop and they have cell phones and they set up your appointments. It's all Wi-Fi. So that woman is fighting a losing battle, and she's fighting a losing battle against my bomb, which is now parked underneath my bedroom in my garage. So I must not think it's going to blow up. So that was but I'll be going to Santa Clara, and I'll let you guys know if it turns out to be an interesting trip. I hope it is. I hope it's not too interesting.
She'll have to get used to it because your thermostat on your new heaters, on your water heater and everything else are all radio controlled.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, my water heater is my new washer dryer. It's a combo. It's kind of cool. It's a heat pump. So it takes a while to do stuff, but it does save electricity. It said, did you want to sign up for Wi-Fi? I couldn't see what the Wi-Fi would do for me on a washer dryer, so I didn't, but I do control my heat pump water heater with Wi-Fi.
It lets you know when your wash is done.
I am sitting in a house and I can hear a beep.
Yeah.
How many gallons of water you use?
Hey, Cecilia, how are you?
Happy horse shit.
Thank you, Linda.
Hey, yeah, I'm Cecilia, up here in Ukiah. I still have a Model 3. I also recently did a walk. It was nice, and with the less rainy, very cold weather, hope to do a little bit of bicycling again this year.
Very good. Okay, why don't we go to the slides then and see what there is to go over. I think there's only really a few slides. I got just a few reminders from last time. Let's see. Just a reminder, the mission of the organization is to educate and advocate for the rapid adoption of electric vehicles. So at least that's what I think about when I talk to people about what we do as an organization. And sometimes that takes us into surprising directions. But nevertheless, whenever we get into a confusion about what we're thinking about, that's what the organization is supposed to think.
We could take off the slide calling her Veeps.
Ah, that's right. Well, I don't know. John?
What are you talking about?
No, John's our Veep.
John's our Veep. So we should take that off. Let's see. So most of you got here either come to the meeting. Oh, good. Yeah, that's fine. Meetings are all recorded and posted on YouTube at NBEA, at YouTube at NBEAA. And then these presentations are all at nbeaa.org. They'll be format. What else you got here? So Jerry sends out three emails a month at NBEA Club. And that basically everybody, what is it, 140 you said, Jerry?
About 135, 140.
140 folks that get that email. And then there's a good active discussion group on NBEA at discuss at googlegroups.com. So that is an opt-in. So if you're not getting that information or those discussions, you need to opt into that. And then if you do find news at nbea.org, you know, that's where we create a lot of the news that we present at the meeting. So if you do find something of interest, send it on in and we'll turn it into a slide. Pretty thin this month. I think we're all still sort of trying to figure out. The news is just a little overwhelming in large measure. And so
Every morning.
another onslaught. There was a
Like drinking out of a fire hose, the news is. Like drinking out of a fire hose.
Yeah, there was I used to watch a TV show called Ray Donovan. It was HBO. And every week it somehow got dramatically worse than the previous week. And every week you're sitting there going, there's no way this gets worse. And the next week it just turns up the knob yet even more. So I have no idea where this is going. But leadership, we have a new I think I mentioned this last month. We've got a new director at the leadership level, and they are now. This slide's wrong, but they now have a monthly leadership meetings at the national level, where all of the chapter officers are invited to attend. I think there were, I don't know, 50 or 60 on the call this last month in March. So go to the next slide. I just wanted to kind of highlight a few things that they're thinking about. Let's see, the first one was this 10,000 rides campaign, and there's a slide on that. Of course, there's Drive Electric Earth Month, which we'll talk about some more. Ride and drives in 2025. There's going to be news on the chapter front. And we'll talk about consumer reports and the Plug-in America survey. So let's go to the next slide. So I mentioned this last month, but I think everybody's had the experience where you give somebody who doesn't have an EV a ride in your car, and they're like, oh, that's why we're doing this. And then as soon as you put your foot in the gas or the accelerator, you realize, this is actually just a lot of fun. And so this is really a nationwide push to give rides to friends and family and colleagues. I think I've probably sold 5 EVs over the last decade just to people going for a ride, and
I'm higher
much higher than that. Yeah,
my friends, I call them the India Mafia, a bunch of guys who moved here from India, started businesses. And I was driving EVs 25 years ago. They get in the car and say, what is this? And then when I got the Leaf, we're driving in that. Most of those guys don't have gas cars anymore. They have 2 EVs.
exactly.
And they sit there and try to advise me as to which EV to get.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I think we've all had that experience, so that's great. So what they're trying to do is to share a ride, take a picture of the ride, and then post it to this website to really just kind of spread the word and do a little bit of grassroots, knowledge sharing, and see if we can get more folks. So if you want to do that, you can just scan that QR code on this slide and then post a 1 or 2 sentence this description of the ride and a picture and go from there. So Any questions about that? No, so
Can I get that from here?
it might work.
Looks like the QR code might be a little bit compromised.
Bernie,
It's
I'll
on
send out the
poll, but-
PDF anyway.
Yeah, it'll be on
Will
the
ya?
PDF.
Okay.
I'll send the
Yeah,
link in the
yeah.
PDF and
Yeah, okay.
Recap.
I think I think I told you guys, my nephew who drives his 2017 F-150 V8, like an 18-year-old. And he bought it because of the sound, honestly. And then he is now married, and he needed a new car, and they bought I think they bought a plug-in hybrid Sorento. And he sends me this text, and he says, and it's a picture of his dashboard. He's getting 52 miles per gallon in his car because he's never in gas.
Yeah.
Because he plugs in every day and he's never in gas. He's like, yeah, I don't dislike the range here, the mileage and the savings.
Not
you
going to
know?
the gas station.
And it was one of those cases where, small amount of pressure. So anyway, the next slide. So the Drew Tower joined us for the April meeting. I think this was last week, and he talked about how CR is Consumer Reports is doing a survey. So this is an open survey, and it's a report. It's they want you to report every charging experience because they're trying to either put pressure on the charging networks to do better. Or they're trying to show the networks that are doing great already. They're trying to use both of those pressure points.
They're going to measure
They're going to
the
measure
experience and
measure
report it out,
and
right?
report it out.
That's
Yeah.
great.
That's
Yeah.
interesting, Don. I don't know who here has ever tried to report an issue with a charging station, but I'm assuming you normally report it to the manufacturer.
No,
No.
you're at the station, they have numbers there, some of them you
You
push
just
a button.
call, you just call them,
Yeah.
if it doesn't get fixed, you never know.
Oh,
Right,
okay, unless
because
you
you've
use it
moved on.
again fairly.
I have an interesting thing to contribute here.
Yeah.
About 2 minutes of walking distance from my shop is a Caltrans sponsored charging station.
Mhm.
And it goes to, well, it's 50 kilowatt power, but usually goes only to 47 or 48. So when this station is down, and it's down a lot, it has a CCS on one side and it has Chatham on the other side, but you can only use one at a time.
Yeah.
So you have Tesla people with CCS adapters that use it.
Mhm.
And then we have two guys in town. Oh, yeah, obviously there's an 800 number that you can call when something's sideways with this thing and it doesn't start. So in the beginning, we used to go to the boss of the Caltrans yard that's right behind it. And he would open the gate and I could reset the breaker. Now, Caltrans disallowed him to do that. So they have a contractor that, is probably only one person for all Northern California that comes around every 4 weeks. So when this thing's
reset
down,
the
it's
breaker.
down for 4 weeks. So it's highly interesting that they were promoting on their websites that they have this, Highway 5, highway for electric cars, and Highway 20 and Highway 101.
Yeah.
But it's a total farce. I don't know what they're doing with the money. You cannot get anybody on the phone. The main phone number that's displayed on the column itself is not in service anymore.
Oh, really?
It's a total disaster. So
Yeah, I think that
what
was
we
part
have
of the,
now is the Chevron gas station owner has two Hummers, an electric one and a regular one. And then we have this other guy. He has a Ford Lightning, also like 150 kilowatt hour battery pack. And I took a picture of both of them charging. I'm going to put a big sign on top. Free EV charging for billionaires only. What do you think? Would that go down?
That's a great idea.
Hang it up real high.
The Caltrans property on Occidental Road?
Oh, no.
No.
Lake County.
Oh, okay.
In Lake County,
Okay.
the second poorest county in America.
Yeah, most of the news stations all have a phone signal into it and they reboot the system because this is software that goes wrong most of the time. It's not anything in the power. And when they reboot it, they can actually get the breakers to not a breaker, but the
But
relay.
it has a 300 amp breaker right on the
Yeah,
service
yeah.
box behind the fence.
Yeah.
And that's, how
The
that
fence is
trips, I don't know. And then we had vandalism also, somebody destroyed the complete display, and that took like
Yeah.
6 weeks.
Pull up
to
the
get it
email I
fixed.
just sent to you and display that. I sent it to Dominic, not to Cecilia.
And so sometimes the cursor and the screen is not in sync. So you have to put your finger somewhere until you see this thing moves, and then you've got to kind of, select outside of the display. But after a while, you'll learn how to do this. It's like playing a pinball machine.
Peter, is the number on the side of the station,
She's
is it
running the
from
show.
the
Can you-
contractor?
Yeah, I will.
Or is it the Caltrans?
Yeah, email it to
It's the
her.
Caltrans number.
Oh, okay. So they know.
And then you cannot get in touch with the contractor, period.
Yeah.
So
Have you-
coming back to the consumer reports kind of overlay here. So my sense is that consumer reports can do a good job of evaluating which networks have the best uptime in general, but not like which stations, right? So like
I think
if
they
there's
do.
a specific station that
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
a breaker that trips really easily and it's constantly offline, or it has really poor maintenance because it's
You see, I have
Yeah,
two
yeah, yeah.
Nissan
I think you're
Leaf.
right, son.
One of them was given to me and it still goes 55 miles on a charge. And the other one goes about 25 miles on a charge, but they both have an issue with the onboard charger. So I really depend on that charging station.
Yeah, right.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were, all of those Caltrans things were put in when Jerry Brown put in his, million cars initiative back in 2012 or something.
Mhm.
And I'll talk to my brother. I don't know if Caltrans is planning to continue supporting those going forward because,
The 30-30 project,
Cecilia, take a look at your email.
yeah,
the 395 I,
yeah,
the freeway rest area,
yeah, I don't know if they're planning
30
to,
charger.
to stay with that going forward because industry has blown away what Caltrans was trying to do, right?
Mm.
You know,
Well,
they've got,
Janet, Harold and I, we always meet at the station.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
Dom,
Summer
do
meetings.
you, Dom, do you want to share that email?
Yeah, I'm not gonna pull up my email in front of 30 people, Cecilia, so maybe if you could just,
I just sent it to you, Cecilia, as well.
if you could just post it to the,
No,
to the thing.
you can bring up the image. You
Yeah.
have it?
I don't have it.
It says it sent it.
Yeah,
Because it had to do with the vandalism of the stations.
Maybe we can try to do that at the end.
yeah. let's
Yeah,
do that.
okay,
Let's
keep
do
going.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The vandalism on ours was way before the
Was,
election, so.
let me just go back to the slides there.
No, it has nothing to do with election.
Well, I think
don't
I saw on the discussion board that, someone was saying that PlugShare doesn't do a very good job anymore, of helping us understand what level
Oh.
charging and how to filter to, what type of plug we want and things like that. And I'm not sure if that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe if we said to ourselves, how would we want to learn whether a site is up or not before we get there? Or how would we want to learn, the details of it? What's the best site for that type of information? I
Yeah.
still think PlugShare might be the best site for that.
Yeah.
Then the best for us.
Yeah.
We use it all the
PlugShare
time.
time.
Although I
Yeah.
have to say
We
that
plan all our trips with PlugShare.
Yeah.
in the 86, the system that it uses is pretty good too, and it actually shows you availability
Yeah, it does,
and,
yeah, really good. Yeah.
Maybe it's a PlugShare API.
I
it's
gotta
very
tell you,
light.
I'm a huge fan of this, of the consumer reports approach of getting broad, hard pressure on these manufacturers. We can't have to use device by device information for the broad adoption of these vehicles. We just can't do that. Does this plug work? No, I mean.
What would
you know,
really help?
we need to have
Yeah.
no, it has to work.
Yeah, the
What would-
oh, go ahead.
What would really help is I find that when I go to see if the charger is up,
Yeah,
people use it, but they don't actually check. They don't say anything. They don't say if it's working or if it's not working. You see, they've been there.
right,
But if everybody would report when they check
exactly,
in,
right.
then the next person knows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
too, when our travel to Electrify America's got a pretty good app.
Yeah,
So they tell you which ones are up.
Yeah, there's-
yeah, that's right.
That one works good. It works actually
Yeah.
better than plug share, but Electrify America doesn't cover everybody else.
Sorry.
It's not free for me.
So for next month, I will make sure I have a link in,
I'll have
maybe
to
before we
follow that.
get this out, I'll push a link into
Okay.
this.
Why don't you
Jerry, so
do
we
that
can-
and then it'll be in the
So it'll
PDF.
be in the PDF,
Okay.
and we can click it. All right, let's go to the next slide.
I have a quick question. Dom, do you know how this works? Like, how do we report? I'm not sure I understand. How do we report it to the consumer reports about charging?
Ellen, that's a great question. That's what I just realized. It's this,
Oh.
this slide doesn't have that link. There's no QR code. There's no link.
Oh, okay.
What
Okay.
we need,
Yeah.
I will go back through the national deck and confirm that I can just put a link onto that slide. So that we can just QR code our, if we're on the road or have an issue or whatever.
I would
might be
imagine
early
they would have a website
There'd
with,
be-
that
exactly.
you fill in, so.
Exactly.
Well, eventually, but I think it might be very early days, like Consumer Reports is declaring their intention.
No,
to
it's
set
up,
it all
it's up now.
right?
No, it's up now. Yeah, it's up now. I just need to put the link in.
What'd be cool is if we could distribute stickers that we could all stick onto the dang station with this information.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a
bit of graffiti, I guess,
idea.
but, you know,
That's not a bad
that way people
idea.
come to it and they say, that's a problem, oh, report it to Consumer Reports.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a third party. that
Because
cares about it.
personally, I think it's great, you know, like other people are saying too, but because it's so difficult to know where to go to get help. Like, sometimes the network, like, you know, Electrify America is responsible for it, and sometimes not. Sometimes it's the municipality, and then they go, oh, that we can't do anything, you know, and so the average consumer, you call once and it's like, oh, well, that's it. So having a third party that can put pressure, that's good.
So I'll send a note to Chris Selleck, the national guy, and I'll say, hey, why don't we just make stickers and distribute them among
Yeah.
the organization, and we'll put stickers on every damn station we go to. And they'll be we'll make them unremovable.
But I'm, you know, the legal question.
That's the way you do it, right? This worked or it didn't work. You QR code it, goes immediately, yes, no. You know, it would take 1 second to scan your success rate.
Are you talking about targeting the stations that don't work or the ones? Okay, so that's, yeah.
You take a picture of your charge experience, how did it work, and immediately goes to CR. I mean, that's a great idea.
Okay, as long as somebody doesn't get in hella trouble, right?
What's hella trouble? I mean, what does that even mean?
No fingerprint, okay.
Yeah, no picture.
So you do have the link for the Plug in America survey.
I do have a plug, yeah.
And all my documents get seized in the NBEAA office.
That's right. EV ice is coming after you, right? Okay, same thing with the Plug in America is doing a survey of EV benefits.
Right?
And they're trying to do a driver survey, so this would be another place where we can provide feedback for broad distribution. So some really good opportunities to provide feedback to national organizations so they can provide information to policymakers.
It's gonna be hard for everybody to hear if other people are talking.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, John. All right, next slide. Sergeant at Arms, John Pomerly, right there.
Right.
In action.
Give him a little power.
Okay, 3 things coming up. Cecilia, why don't you talk about this one?
Yeah, so the city of Ukiah is having an Art Day celebration, and Climate Action in Mendocino is partnering with us for another EV showcase this year. We're not planning on it being a super large one. There's a lot of people are busy, and there's less capacity to organize like a really huge event. We expect to have a few cars there, and yeah, so if you want to come up and see what we have in Ukiah, it's not going to be the same day as what's going on in Santa Rosa.
Is anyone else from Santa Rosa or Sonoma County going up to the event in Ukiah?
When is this gonna be?
The 19th, a week from today.
Okay,
Yeah, it's going to be 19th. It's going to be 9 to 12, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Yeah, that's Saturday.
Did you hear that part, Cecilia?
What part?
He wants coffee and donuts at the event.
So I'll drive my best electric car, my City L. You know what a City L is? They used to be sitting here in Ukiah at Pacific Electric Vehicles.
Bring one in.
A picture of a City L with Nina Hagen in it, the rock and roll star from East Germany.
Bring her too.
Oh, there's a link on the NBEAA website if you want to register to come. Feel free to do that.
Cecilia, I might not be able to be there, but for anyone who is there, I would highly encourage presenters or hosts to highlight the price per kilowatt hour that the city of Ukiah charges compared to PG&E, because it's such a big difference.
Great idea.
Yeah.
What do they charge?
About half. Yeah.
This Tesla station in Upper Lake in Lake County now is 59 cents for non-Tesla a kilowatt hour. 59 cents.
Huh.
Yeah, and
That's
a
a
lot
lot.
of the others are like 63 cents.
Well, I went to Sacramento, it's sometimes under 40 cents because it's SMUD, I believe.
It's the utility, Caleb told me,
Yeah.
on today, but Caleb told me in Southern California Edison,
Yeah.
he's paying 20 cents a kilowatt hour.
See, there you go.
We're paying off-peak for EV2A schedules, 32 cents per kilo. It actually went down this recently to 31 cents a kilowatt hour. So our electricity, PG&E electricity, is more expensive than any of the other
See,
utilities.
when I compare my
it's
Leaf
only-
with my 2000 Toyota Prius, I get 16 cents a mile, both of them. So, compared to the kilowatt hours price that I'm paying, or,
Right now.
I've calculated like $4.25 for a gallon of gas.
Actually,
16 cents a mile.
that's a really interesting point, Jerry. I don't know if everyone here has the same EV rate plan, if that's the right way to say it, that
Yeah, it is.
you just mentioned, because
That's EV2A.
the one the one that my parents are on, they have a solar system on their house. It charges, I think, about 46 to 49 cents per kilowatt hour, depending on like off peak and on peak.
You get 10 cents off for baseline, so then it ends up being more like 36 to 39.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little closer to EV2A.
The summer and winter are significantly different.
Yeah. And there are a lot of schedules. I took a whole day class at PG&E on PG&E schedules, and when I finished the whole day class on PG&E schedules, the person giving it, and I turned to her and I said, I think this needs to be a week-long class. They're really complicated.
It's very complicated.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so Santa Rosa, so, let's see, I think Ellen said the Facebook links are ready and I didn't do that. Yeah, so,
Oh yeah,
that-
I was gonna wait till after the meeting and then post the 3 Facebook events or the events on Facebook to our page. I can do that.
Perfect, thank you, Ellen. So this one is in 2 weeks and it's a noon to 4. Yeah, 2 weeks. And we've got the same space we had last year, 20 by 10. They gave us 2 booths. They wouldn't give us more. It's a pretty full thing. They gave us the full map. I'm sure you saw that. Hopefully we get John and you bring your truck. A Bolt would be great. Anybody want to bring their EV6? I can bring mine, Mike, or
Can bring
David or
two.
Jerry, anybody? We just need one EV6.
I brought mine before, so,
Bernie, if you want to bring your Tesla, and you're not gonna be here, right?
Yeah, I won't be there, so.
do you want to bring your?
Yeah, I'll bring my Tesla.
Yes.
If there aren't any others.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Do we
Yeah,
have
we got-
3 or more?
Oh, we have,
3 to 4.
We
It's the same spot by the sculpture, and Ken Coker was working the gate, and he was very helpful in like understanding that we could bring in 3 or 4 vehicles, and he had his Arcimoto that day, so that was just kind of fun, to have.
Yeah, everybody.
So hopefully Ken's working that same gate again. You go up 4th Street and you turn right and come onto the plaza.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the kids especially loved the Arcimoto and sitting in it, I feel like. So that was a fun thing to have.
I did reach out per your suggestion, Ellen, to the Volkswagen guys to see if we can get an ID Buzz there.
Ooh, okay, cool.
They've not responded yet, so I'll ping. I will ping them this week for an ID Buzz, and I'll also ping Jim Bone to see if we can get an EV9 over there. Those are generally high,
Yeah.
lot of interest.
Yeah.
Is there any other brand new ones we want to?
Well, the Arcimoto, I think we shouldn't have, because I have a lot of their stock. Because I thought it was a great product. And as far as I can tell, they're defunct.
They're
So they're done?
They basically laid everybody off and,
When I was building Sparrows with my Corbin, RC Motor actually brought vehicles down there to have the seats designed and made down there.
Good. Caleb and I have driven them around San Diego in demo drives, and they're pretty cool. But it looked like they couldn't get the cost down.
I have an electromechanical now also.
I think the
It's
EV9
called
is
the
a good
Solo.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get
Cute little thing.
Yeah.
What do you think
got-
about like the Equinox, the Chevy Equinox or something? Seeing if the dealer, I don't know.
I can check. I'm a little nervous about asking the dealer.
Oh, okay.
Again, turn out from last time.
Oh, did they not respond or show up? I can't remember.
No, they showed up great. Remember, Chevy
Yeah.
showed up with like 3 vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
Just
I
didn't have
forgot.
any
Sorry.
parking.
It's a different event.
We could try. Yeah, I could try.
Do you-
I'll certainly ask. The Equinox, and the one I see a lot, and we saw in the numbers a couple weeks ago, was the Prologue. I mean, you see those Prologues
Yeah.
all over Sonoma County now.
So let me suggest something. And this is the meeting that Sonia and I had with Sonoma Clean Power.
Yeah,
And we've been talking about the focus for the event in the fall
right.
Yeah.
being used EVs. And so I would focus for this because 70% of the car purchases in California are used vehicles. We have enough used vehicles between all of us. And, you know, 2 of you have bought used EV
Yeah, that's a good point.
sixes. And
Yeah,
I think bringing in a used vehicle at the very least, or multiple used vehicles if we can, and have that story, I bought a used EV. They weren't available the first time I went to one of these events, which
That's a
was
great
like 5
point,
years
Jeff.
ago.
Yeah.
And you
the
couldn't get a
dealership.
used vehicle. You can get used vehicles now.
yeah.
And
that's a
they're
good point.
usable used
Yeah.
vehicles.
Do you,
Yeah.
Ellen, are you interested in having the Bolt? Ellen bought hers used, so I don't
Oh,
know.
cool.
Yeah, I have a 2017 Bolt that I bought used in 2019, so I'm happy to bring that if that would be helpful.
All right, it's probably a better idea.
But
Does
So rather
anyone,
than going to the dealers, I mean, it'd be great to go to the dealers if they have something that they really want to hawk and we had a big event. But I can understand why they won't get a lot of traffic from something like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, I guess Mike did too, but did you say you wanted the fall event to do the used, or are you
The
wanting?
fall event is going to, and we discussed it and we were looking at it and said, for the population we have here,
Yeah, right.
we
That's a
want
good
to
idea.
be able to show people, you can get a vehicle. Right? And everybody's buying used vehicles. You can now get a vehicle.
Yeah,
Okay.
but are you
Part of
wanting
it
to
was
focus on the fall?
Used for sale.
I'm just
So-
saying that if we want to get more people interested in more activity, even for this event,
Okay,
showing used vehicles, I think is a better activity for us than going to the dealer saying, let's bring the new vehicles out.
interesting.
I mean, the EV9 actually is nice because a lot of the people around here, I don't know why, seem to think they need enormous cars.
Well, some people have large families,
Yeah,
enormous
well, they
families.
have to have very large people of large families for the EV9.
So I think that the purpose of the fall one was to possibly reach out to dealers to have them show up used vehicles
Mhm.
so that we could have a broader array than what is represented within our membership. So, you know, nobody owns a Prologue. And nobody owns an Equinox or something like that.
Right.
And so
Or lose it. Or-
if by chance any of the dealers are like, oh, I could bring in one of our used salespeople, they don't have as many
Right.
requests on their time, or I don't know if that's the case or not, but it'd be interesting.
Well, Redwood Credit Union, they will source new cars for you. If you go in and say, I want a new one of these, they'll find it from some dealer and do the deal. But what they have on their lot's all used. I would, the guy that I knew there is retired now, so I don't know what the dynamics would be with the Redwood Credit Union, but they've got that lot on Santa Rosa Avenue. So I'd say it's talking used, I would definitely include Redwood Credit Union.
Okay.
at this point, does anyone here know if there are going to be any dealers participating in Earth Day?
I haven't, the only one I reached out to so far was to get the ID Buzz. I mean, the ID Buzz is just such a shiny object. It would get people into our booth and they've not responded
They're
yet.
putting $10,000 on MSRP.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does the city of Santa Rosa is organizing this, right?
yeah.
Do they know if there are any vehicle dealers that are participating?
I mean, I can look at the map. I didn't see any.
Okay.
I'm sure we're the only vehicle.
Oh,
The
okay.
only vehicle.
We've been the only one the last few years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if the city reaches out to even the new vehicle dealerships.
All right, so Dom, you're coordinating all of this
Yeah.
and
There's not space for all that.
Yeah,
decide at the end who's gonna bring
only
vehicles?
there's barely space for the 4 we have plus an easy up. I think we'd really be bending the envelope to do this. But if we had the Bolt and the truck and a Tesla and an EV6, I think we would be in Fast City. I don't know.
Because we also have Mike's.
Mike, if you want to bring your EV6, then you can talk about your used buying experience.
Sure.
And I want to talk about the used buying experience at Jerry's point. I think we're covered.
Yep.
I think that's what we
Yeah,
need.
well, let's talk, because I don't know if Ellen, I don't know if we didn't need to have her car there, then it wouldn't be two of us, because usually we like to.
Yeah,
car, you know.
yeah, right. Okay, maybe we will.
That's true.
All right.
We can talk, Ellen, I don't know.
Okay.
And we have a table and a tent and all that stuff.
Yeah, we have all that, and then Sonia just gave me a bunch of stuff from last year.
Easy Up is in my car and it's going into Donna's.
And I have a
car, and she
table.
wanted-
Literature? We
I have
have
all the
this year?
literature from Dean. They sent me
Okay,
a
good.
massive pile. They actually have some graphic novels, which I haven't bothered to read. I'm not really into graphic novels, but
Okay.
anyway, I have a lot of stuff. And I'm sure it's just the same stuff for up north as well.
I just had one other quick thought I wanted to add is I wonder if Sonoma Clean Power could showcase their F-150 Lightning. I don't know if we'd want that, but it adds a nice diversity, a truck, I feel like, to. Well, I guess we have Val, but
They
anyway.
have their own booth there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They'll be
Power
using
does.
it there, probably.
Okay.
And the
perfect.
city of Santa Rosa also has some F-150 Lightnings.
And yeah,
Well, used ones from their
Transit
fleet?
/ City Bus has a booth.
I don't think they're used. I think they purchased them new.
Oh, just for their own use.
Yeah, like utility trucks for.
Yeah.
I don't know how many.
That's how we used to buy the electric Ford Rangers from 2000 to 1990 to 2000. Blue Sky Motors.
If I remember
Very
correctly,
expensive.
they were because at the Sonoma Clean Power event, not the Drive Electric Week last year, but the one before that.
In the fall.
Yeah, because there was that guy from the city, because it was on the section right outside of the office on 4th Street.
Yeah.
Where you could pull out those
Yeah,
like cargo compartments or whatever they
yeah,
were. Yeah.
There will be an EV bus there and a fire engine.
EV bus and a fire engine and
Fire engine's not EV.
it's not an
Yeah.
EV.
It's just listed as like
It's
in this spot.
well, there's shiny objects, right?
Yeah.
Everybody likes fire trucks.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good stuff. So they said Santa Rosa said when you come, just bring a refillable water bottle. They don't want to leave a lot. It's a zero waste event and bring a chair and be a shirt and a hat. Let me know. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Thanks, everyone, volunteers. Let's go to the next slide. We've also been invited by Golden Gate Electric Vehicle Association. There's actually a Golden Gate, a person named, Don or Dan, from Petaluma, who's with the Golden Gate Electric Vehicle Association, and they've invited us to do a co-branded thing in Petaluma. And I shamelessly rebadged my Ukiah pictures for it. They've got space for about 5 or 6 EVs. And they're doing a thing called the Future Fest and Expo. And that would be on Star Wars Day, Sunday, May the 4th. And that would be from noon to 4. And what I was thinking is that we would basically do the same sort of step and repeat that we did in Santa Rosa or we did in Ukiah. I'm looking for volunteers for that one for as many as 5 to 6 cars. I think Dan is going to bring his car. And anybody else who wants to go down there to Petaluma the week after, the Sunday, May the 4th. Any volunteers here?
I might be willing to go.
You can go? Okay, good.
Well, I should check my schedule before I say that.
Sonia, can I count on you to show up there?
Yeah, I think I can be there. I don't
Okay.
want to show my car. If
You don't want
Bernie's
to
willing to show his car, I don't want to show two Teslas. I'll be back up Tesla. Unless we want to vote or something.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Any other ones, John, or any chance you can make it? Or
Ellen and I need to plan whether that'll work or not.
whether or not, okay, fine.
Dom,
Yeah,
why don't you send a message out just before that event to Club
okay,
and say, hey, if you're interested, why don't you respond? You like do it 2 or 3 days ahead of time.
okay.
Since it's just drive down, show your car.
I might be able to help if there's a carpool going down from Santa Rosa.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, this is the Saturday,
This is Saturday, May the 4th. Oh, wait, Sunday, May the 4th.
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday, May the 4th. Yeah. So you can dress up as Vader if you want, Bernie.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, then,
Do we have time?
Noon to 4.
Noon to 4. Yeah, noon to 4, yeah.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. And then, go to the next one.
That's why it's still staying.
Mhm.
Sitting there not knowing it.
So this actually came out from
Oh, yeah.
National as well, so, what's the old marketing expression? Never.
The customer is always right.
No. There's that one. There's that one. No, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking never
Never
miss an opportunity, never pass up a crisis for an opportunity,
There you go.
right? So we have all of this nationwide attention on EVs right now. So we need to figure out a way to swing that to a lever as opposed to a hammer, right? It's a,
Resolve issue.
there's a way that we can use that as gravity to.
Well, what, swords into plowshares?
Yeah, swords into plowshares. But in any case, when we do say,
Hold on, folks.
Talk about something.
Hey, Pete,
yeah.
let's get the attention up here.
So when we do face the public, not everybody we meet is gonna, I mean, I've had people argue with me at other of these events. You just have to just water off a duck's back sort of approach, right? There's no reason to get into any kind of anything at these things. We're just talking about cars.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna be convinced, if somebody's not gonna be convinced, then don't try to convince them.
Well, my sticker has to come.
You have to bring your sticker. Yes,
Well, it's on the car.
it's on the car, that's right.
I was thinking if we had a hand signal between us, that we
Yeah.
knew.
Right.
Like
Right.
sometimes it's just, I think, well, that's a little rough. It's like, whatever. But sometimes people are talking to me and it doesn't have to be political or anything, and it's just too much.
It's just too much.
I'm listening and I gotta stop somehow.
Yeah,
And if we had a way to say like, something about, help me out, say,
Yeah.
hey, John, I need your help, come
Right.
on over here, whatever.
right.
There are ways to get out.
We could either carry mace. Or one of those, football horns.
Well, the other side also has guns.
That's right. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
I'm just, now, honestly, I think, we could, if we wanted to have a help me kind of sign.
That's right. Yeah.
Get me out of
Oh,
this.
okay.
But we could have, so, let's see. I think this is a very good way to deflect, right? Ask it, if they have questions about the EVs that we can answer, other than just thanks for attending.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
So a lot of the other places throughout the country are doing ride and drives, and I don't think we've done a ride and drive in quite some time. It's still our personal insurance. We have event insurance for these things. That's trip and fall insurance. But it's not scratch and ding insurance for our vehicles. It's not, we're certainly not covered at the national level for a ride and drive, but, any case, if you do a ride and drive, then get the EV waiver online.
I have a quick share. The closest thing that I've ever come to a lot of attention was at Earth Day a couple years ago. and a guy and his wife said, we're really concerned about the labor and the chemicals in batteries. And we don't see why, EVs should be promoted. And I said, I'm really concerned about those issues too. And because I said I was concerned about those issues, it just was like, it got very like de-escalated really fast, right? Because, they were ready to hear from me that I didn't care, that I didn't care about child labor, or I didn't care about the types of chemicals. And I said, some of these car companies are looking at the chemistries of their batteries and changing the chemistries to try to reduce, areas that have a lot of conflict. And then there's also the scarcity, and there's the way that, you mine them. I said, like a million problems with it. But, we didn't get into like, when you extract oil, you also have some issues as well, that sort of thing. But, I think that the de-escalation is like, I share your concerns.
That's really
that
good.
sort of thing.
Yeah, it's really good.
When we were selling the buses and the trucks and we were using Theon batteries, people would always come to us and say they were worried about the chemicals.
What kind of batteries?
Theons, which are
Italian.
Well, they're actually South African. Yeah, that's where the patent's from. But yeah, from Italy and France. And they're nickel. They're table salt and nickel.
Okay.
Batteries. Okay, you just have to heat them up to 475 degrees Fahrenheit.
Like the
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, identical. And people would ask us about it, and we asked the company, give us a flyer about it, and they showed us it was 99% recyclable, that they can't catch on fire, that blah blah blah. So one of the things for us now is, besides just saying we have been concerned about it, and for me, I bought the EV6 because I thought it had lithium iron phosphate batteries in it, which are 99%.
Right.
And have no esoteric chemicals in them, and should someday be a lot less expensive than the NMC batteries that we're using these days, mainly because the materials are so much less expensive. But it was the manufacturing process that wasn't worked out. They'll last longer too. Yeah. Have a much higher flash point as well. 3 times safer from a flash point of view.
Yeah, right. So I think that's it for events. Let's see what other surprises are in this. Yeah.
Oh, I'm actually a little curious.
One other event. Sorry, Brad.
I'm a little curious about the other side. I hadn't really thought. I mean, I've read about the the Tesla takedown protests, like next door and in the Press Democrat, but I've never been to one. So I don't know if anyone has ever experienced a negative feedback about their Tesla, because I just never thought that a safety concern at like a EV event would even be an issue.
The demonstrations are Saturdays from 11 to 1 or something like that, which of course you can't go to this and that. It's
right.
And they're fairly
but
new,
they're every
right?
week, I think. So I was thinking about going next week over to the Tesla and talk to them. I mean, I think they're a little misguided. I mean, Musk owns 15% of Tesla. He's not a huge stock holder. I mean, 15% still.
I went to a
billions of
anti-Tesla
dollars.
demonstration. I went to an anti-demo, and the group that's putting most of them on, it's done through a group called Indivisible. They're extremely nonviolent. So Tesla's passed by, we just waved. People were charging on the chargers as we were standing behind it. We were standing on the sidewalk, and the chargers were behind us. People were charging on the chargers. No one said anything to the drivers. It's just a car.
Yeah.
Look at Tesla sales are down 9% over last year at this time, and EV sales are up.
And EV sales are up. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so you think it's less about anti-EV than anti-Tesla feedback?
Yeah.
Well, it shouldn't be anti-Tesla, it should be anti-Musk, but
Yeah.
but see, Tesla's there, and Tesla's the symbol of Musk in
Yeah,
a
that's
sense, and that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not like you can protest SpaceX.
it's the only way you can get to Musk. is
yeah,
it-
it's just the only feedback or experience was Sonia's, which was so different than what's happened in the last
Well,
couple of months.
My message to everyone is that it doesn't really matter what people come to you with. It's that you identify with them and
Right.
tell them that you're a caring person. So it doesn't really matter what the issue is.
It acknowledges it,
It's
yeah.
true.
You know,
And there's
so-
That's a
a
great-
lot of,
that's a great
lot more issues than just political or anything that
Yeah,
come up,
just-
you know?
You know, there's
Sure.
there's a lot of uncertainty around like that, you know, you might get a very upset progressive or a very upset conservative. We don't know.
Right.
And everyone has like real issues and they're all our neighbors. So, you know, you just kind of identify with them.
Because, yeah, I mean, one time, a long time ago, the thing I was talking about where I couldn't stop talking to a guy, he was talking about, basically, free energy, you know, the perpetual motion concept, and why can't we do that in our EVs? I couldn't get out of that conversation. And so it's hard, you know, but that's totally non-political. It's just another situation that we run into.
That's that old country song, we'll all be drinking free bubble up and drink that rain.
That guy is- You can do that as long as you have 11 dimensions.
11
I
dimensions.
love the dimensions, that's right.
Or you just point them to the nearest money tree where it just sprouts dollars.
Okay.
Let's move on. And so I keep this in the back of my mind. And of course, we're going to be in Petaluma in a couple of weeks, but this would just be like the world's epic road trip, you know, and do a little EV cannonball run out to Schenectady. And
Is the
I'm not going
curly,
to make it, but
is that curly line true, or is that just for
No,
fun?
no, it's for fun.
no, the way to
That's just.
ten would go this way.
I would have a tendency to take 40 and then go up. Well, where's Schenectady? I don't know if I go through Colorado and go to 80, but it's interstates don't look like that. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm sorry, I don't see the attraction of this between Cecilia's event and Alan's event.
Yeah.
Cecilia covering, I think, 11,000 miles, was it, Cecilia, in 1 month? And Alan traveling around the world, circumnavigating the world in his EV.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure just going to Schenectady is anything big.
That's exactly where we're gonna go in our Nissan out there. We're going to Connecticut.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah, but we have to
Probably-
get painted.
What kind of range again? What do you have on that?
210 miles.
Wow, that's gonna be a
It's
lot of
probably about
knots.
50 charges somewhere.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Charging.
We meet a lot of people charging.
Of course.
That car is a people catcher.
Yeah.
We don't go anywhere that's.
I've
needed.
never seen a
That's awesome.
ZX pull up and charge, so.
We've had
I'm
people
excited to see
pass
it.
by, turn around, come back, say, I didn't know why you were parked there.
What year is the conversion?
93.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. Let's see what other surprises are in here. What else do we have? I think there's sushi. I put one in here. Okay, so oh darn it.
I saw one on the road too.
Are these your sightings?
I was trying to, darn it, I need to edit this more. I was trying to hide the fact that I took these while I was driving, but anyway. I saw this PG&E Silverado and I thought, okay, well, PG&E is doing their thing. And these two cars, the PG&E truck and the Amazon Prime truck were about a quarter mile apart on 101 one day.
Oh.
And I thought, these things are getting into the mainstream.
The Amazon Prime order was for 7,500 trucks.
At the fleet.
And they're all custom designed.
Yeah.
Which includes, different ways of showing when you have the delivery and all that stuff. The EV truck from PG&E, that's not a surprise either, since we're all getting, I assume you're all getting flyers from PG&E, or at least I'm getting them, saying, let us help you convert your fleet to EVs from PG&E with their expertise and their personnel to help.
Wow.
Including helping you figure out how to convert your facility.
Great. No, there's a tailpipe there on the bus.
There's also a bus, isn't there?
Yeah,
Like-
Yeah, yeah.
No, I see a tailpipe on the bus.
Oh, it's one of the natural gas.
Yeah,
VW.
came from the.
Yeah.
And
I
then
saw one of the VW EVs drive past me. And
this
I
one,
was
this
walking.
one was actually, this one was actually I took this picture on the ID Buzz in Germany.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was over by Belgium. And, yeah, it was at just some random location. So, but it was also a commercial application of the ID Buzz. It was a agricultural company that was
Really?
doing
The one I
something.
saw was in Berkeley.
But
I saw one in Sebastopol that was red. And if I run into them again, I'll ask them to come here and show us their ID
yeah,
cards.
I just thought these were, it's a coming, folks.
Yeah.
Steady pressure and a clamp. And we're getting there, so. We can go to the next slide if there's no other questions about that. I think this one is you, John?
Well, I was just noticing we didn't have much in the slide deck, so I thought, I looked around and I just saw, wow, it was April 11th, news about this trail seeker coming out from Subaru. So anyway, there's a big international auto show in New York next week, and they're going to show it there. It's an electric Subaru. All sorts of rumors without any real information. This is the only picture out there that anybody has ever seen.
Do you think it's a pickup or we don't know?
It's a SUV.
It's a little SUV?
Yeah, they say, some people said it was gonna be a little bit bigger and more upright profile, and some said it might be a little sleeker. Some said it might have a little more range, because they wanted to compete with Rivian and make sure they're staying in sync with the off-road people, Anyway.
Any sense if this is tied to their relationship with Toyota? Didn't they have a Toyota?
They do have a number of Toyotas kind of matching. They didn't say that, but it seems pretty tight-lipped about what's going on. Everybody watch next week, see what it looks like. It'll be at the show. Probably be some pictures from that.
Starting today.
Yeah.
April 18th. Oh,
11?
Thursday.
Oh, you didn't say the date, did you?
Yeah, what's the date today?
It's the 12th.
Oh, yesterday.
Yeah, no, the show is not till the 18th. That's what.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's just that the notices I saw, the discussion was starting about this announcement on April 11th. And that was yesterday.
Well, that's cool.
Not a big deal, but it's nice to see Subaru coming out with more electric.
Yeah. What's the next slide? That's all the stuff that I had, I think. Did you add any more, John? No?
Not that I remember.
Okay, I think we should go look at your conversion.
Do we have any more slides?
No, that's it.
That's it?
That's it.
There were some more slides, but
There are?
they were just, just announcement slides and,
Yeah.
next week and all that in the
Yeah.
next meeting.
What else is there? What did we surprise ourselves with, to tell you? Anything else on that?
I did send a news item about this, P3, comparison of charging rate, the graphs. And that's what I've been trying to get to, but I can't get to OneDrive.
Let's put it on there.
Yeah.
Put it on next month.
And Ellen, I thought I'd just say, Ellen and I, a week or so ago, we went to Sonoma Clean Power and talked with one of their billing specialists about our PG&E bill.
There's
And
the picture.
they invite that, and it can be done. And we learned a lot. We thought maybe he was inaccurate about a couple of things, but we want to follow up. But it was helpful to go over our bill, and that thing has just been hard for us to understand.
Did you have to make an appointment for that?
You don't have to. You can drop in as long as you're within the hours. We
On
just
the
call
4th
it ahead.
Street, right.
On 4th Street.
On 4th Street.
On 4th Street.
Yeah, not the corporate office.
Yeah. And so, I kind of encourage people to do it because it exercises their thinking process and helps them know.
There's the picture I took this morning.
Oh.
The charge station at Taylor Mountain.
Oh, it's like the Regal one.
Yeah, we look really closely at it.
Where's the cables, Jerry?
Where are the cables? That's a really good question.
The
Oh,
cables
no.
are-
Somebody cut off the cables
Oh.
and took them.
Oh,
For the-
There's a lot of copper in them. I understand that they're stealing it.
The copper's worth quite a bit, and this is why the European model makes an awful lot more sense than what we do here. Now, for the high high voltage, I mean, really high voltage, actually high current applications that we have when we're doing 350 kilowatt, I don't think we're gonna carry those cables. And some of those are actually cooled.
Right.
These cables are simple cables, and when they
They're
sell a
level,
vehicle
yeah.
in Europe, you get two charge cables usually. One is one for public stations, and it just has a plug on one end and a plug on the other end.
Yeah.
And the other one is the kind of thing that you would get, you used to get with a lead, that actually has the
Is this
charge.
juice box the same as the Valerie Miftakov was selling for?
I have no idea.
It says juice box.
It is a juice box, yeah, it was juice
Yeah,
box.
this
So,
would be
but
a
that's
really
not,
good retrofit.
it's level 2, right?
It's level 2, yeah.
Yeah.
And these you're finding in the parks, I mean, they basically.
Yeah.
Install in the
Destination
parks.
charge,
Yeah.
Where is this station?
This is, off
Taylor
of,
Mountain.
Okay.
Beverly Hill Road.
Yeah.
Maybe Bernie, if you could get some
So,
stickers that say, please cut cables while charging, the problem would solve itself.
So originally when we built this
No,
thing,
nothing's happening.
so when we built this thing originally, they didn't have fast chargers and stuff. We used the 1450 plug,
Right,
EV
Yeah.
park and stuff.
right.
So where the gas tank lid is, covers, we had a cable that's 20 foot long and it goes, it rolls up inside.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
really?
And you go someplace and you'd plug in.
Pull the cord out.
That's great.
So what he did, brought up here and you got it, they're taking the cords. Okay, all you need is the plug
Yeah,
Yep.
and have
Yeah.
your own
Right.
cord in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really good, retrofit for those
Yeah,
particular
so-
types.
When they come out with the
Retrofit
fast,
would just put a plug up and put a socket on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we just had a 1450 plug and we come home, we plug it in or go to the RV park and plug it in. So they come out with the fast chargers with their own plug, 3, 4 different kinds now, trying to decide which kind of plug they want, a Tesla or,
Yeah,
Chatham or whatever it
that
is.
makes an awful lot more sense.
You'd have
But here,
one standard plug and you got
the
it,
same plug on both ends.
yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't take up much room, 20 foot cord, and it just recoiled back up inside you.
So
You just
we,
pull up, plug
we
it.
often get questions from people saying, well, if I get an EV, I have to have a station at home, and how complicated is that and everything else? When we've had a station since '98, and we've had 2 different kinds of stations. The first one cost $1,700. The second one cost $325. But when I got the second EV, I just put in a 1450 socket in the wall, because when you bought your Leaf in 2018, it came with a 220 portable charge cable,
Oh, really? No.
right? And it runs its 7.8 kilowatt.
Yep.
Okay, and I plug it into the wall, and when I travel, I actually use that one for charging the EV6. I use the wall one for the Leaf, and when I travel, I throw the cable in the back of the car. You can always find a 1450 someplace, right?
For a backup, just in
Yeah,
case.
Yeah, it's common
it's a dryer plug.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, trailer parks often use it.
And it's a 50 amp dryer plug.
Right, I use the other one, the 4-prong 50, which is called NEMA 50.
It's the NEMA 50 that I'm
It's
using.
that's the 14.
That's the
It's not
1450.
this one, it's like.
No,
It's this one.
Yeah, the
That's
1450 is the
1450.
4-prong.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, well, so much more.
So,
interesting when you're not gonna be-
Can we take
Yeah.
the online people outdoors with us?
I'm not gonna carry my laptop. to do that.
Okay, I have a dog in the car.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so why don't
I
we call it for online and go outside and pick
We're
up.
gonna take a look at a converted that Harold did.
Yeah, it's really good.
Take pictures and send them to us.
Yeah, we'd love to see pictures.
Okay,
All right, take care, guys. Thank you.
Welcome to the 10,000 drives,
Yeah.
10,000
oh,
drives.
hey, 10,000.
Alright, so our next meeting is going to be May 10th. Oh, and I guess people are gone.
Okay, sounds good. May
See you
10th.
May 10th.
See you May 10th.
Bye.